if Jackie Robinson doesn't play baseball, I'll drink pee. And I'm like,
we watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I'm Mike, and he's Jay, and today we're directing.
you were directing 42.
Today we're reviewing 42, a watered down story of racism. Brooklyn, we don't go hard. That's what the song should have been in the trailer for this.
Yeah, you know, it is fucking boring. Yeah, you could literally leave this movie for 20 minutes and not miss shit.
No, it was just so. It was, for one, it was really slow paced, and it was that, like, it's a period piece, obviously. So when they did an okay job of the look of everything and how everything looked, and the cinematography was all right. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just so slow and so boring and so, like, hammy.
It was a hallmark retelling of the whole story.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this movie for me that captivated me.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't drawn to any of these characters. I didn't give a fuck about any of these characters. And the worst one for me was Harrison Ford.
He's supposed to be like this, like, charismatic, like, odd old man.
Yeah, like there's two things I thought about when I saw Harrison Ford on screen. First, I didn't think of an Academy Award.
No.
I didn't think of that. I thought,
Not like
trim your fucking eyebrows.
reaching for an
I was
Academy
like,
Award.
trim your fucking eyebrows and get your goddamn whip back out.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those, like, it's an imitation role, kind of like when Anthony Hopkins played Hitchcock.
Yeah.
It's more of an imitation than an acting role, but he never, like, gets fired up, or he never gets you, like, really into what he's saying. You laugh at him a couple times, but most of the time when he tries to be funny and, like, you know, charismatic, it doesn't pan out. Jackie Robinson.
I just want people to know we're not trying to say that, you know, it wasn't a hard time. I mean, it obviously was, but
yeah.
there was, for this movie, for the film itself, there's no emotional anchor on any of these characters, really.
Well, Jackie Robinson, the story of Jackie Robinson is
No,
captivating.
the Jackie Robinson story, not the way it was portrayed in this
Right,
movie.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the story itself is captivating, and it is an emotional story, and it's something that's supposed to be hard to watch, and it's supposed to be about him overcoming all that. In this movie, it was just like everything was by the numbers. They didn't take any risks. It was watered down. There was one point in the movie where I got upset. When you're watching all this racism stuff and all this mean stuff and segregation that's supposed to be happening, you're supposed to be upset. But this is stuff I've seen they just focused on the fact that, oh, look, it's a whites only bathroom. Yeah. And we knew that stuff went on back then, but they didn't really go into detail on anything. There was just no emotion in a movie that was supposed to be full of emotion.
Let's make it Disney-ish. Let's make it Disney-ish. Watered down. Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans was way fucking better than this, and that actually was a Disney movie.
And Remember the Titans, they did a way better job of portraying segregation in that movie. Because I mean, you've got the by the number stuff in that movie too. But then on top of it, you got Denzel Washington, who's a lightning rod. In that movie.
He was better.
In this, there was no lightning rod. The guy that played Jackie Robinson, he did an okay job or whatever, but he was just there. He was just playing it by the book. He didn't show enough. I don't know how many times I can say this, but he didn't show any emotion.
Maybe it was just the wrong direction, or they didn't give the right amount of lines. I don't know what it was. I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and
I just didn't care. Like none of the characters drew me in. Like there was not one character on screen that I was like, "Yeah, I want to see more of that." Like I got to see more of it.
And when you mentioned Harrison Ford, when you see him on screen, you're supposed to. It seemed like he was so enamored with trying to, like, I'm gonna do this out there role and do this complete imitation, that he was completely boring. And you can see on his face, all he was doing is focusing on trying to sound nothing like himself and act nothing like himself, rather than trying to, like, bring any life into the character.
Harrison Ford, it's kind of like Sean Penn in Gangster Squad. He became a parody of himself, trying to be a hard-ass mob boss.
Yeah, you've got this monumental soundtrack in the background. Every 5 seconds when someone farts, there's a trumpet going.
Actually, if someone had farted and the triumphant music had come and they were on the toilet trying to squeeze one out, I'd be fuck yeah, we got something good.
More interesting.
I would have been able to root for something.
It was just completely lifeless script. The script was lifeless. It was just it was the most manufactured movie I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. It was just like, we're trying to win an Oscar.
It's like if you went to Walmart and instead of getting the Oreos, you get the knockoff brand, the Great Value brand.
Yeah.
You get the Zoreos.
Yeah. It looks like Oreos.
But it tastes like shit.
Yeah, it tastes like plastic. It tastes like tofu.
What is this? Mom!
There's one point in the middle of the movie where Pirate Steve is a manager for the other baseball team. And he comes out and he starts, throwing racial slurs at Jackie Robinson while he's at bat. And for a brief second there, I got kind of angry and I felt really bad for him, and I was like in the moment.
Hater!
And then I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's finally going to get better. And then the ending comes, and it's just like, oh, we just got to wrap this shit up real quick.
You know what the worst thing about it? I think that you could also tell everything that was coming. You know, it's like when you heard the emotional key, which I mean, for these underdog, I love underdog stories, and this was an underdog story, but it just didn't. When that emotional key would hit, and you knew something big was going to happen, and he was going to beat the odds and do this, but it was just like they just never made you commit to the movie to even give a fuck anymore.
Yeah,
like at the end, you got this big emotional like music going, and you just like, is it over? It's like almost 2 hours now. So
it's like, way to go, guys! Way to take a captivating, amazing historical moment in history and just water it down like a motherfucker. Make it feel like...
What's that like when you water it down like a motherfucker?
Even the acting in this movie, it seemed like everybody was like, oh, I got this costume that fits perfect in the period piece. I don't have to act.
Yeah.
Like, my costume does it for me. That's what Harrison
Well, another
Ford
thing is there's zero... And even, I'm going to say, even Jackie Robinson, there's zero character development.
Yeah.
They're the exact same fucking character throughout the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, there's no...
They're all... I mean, you think that these players... I mean, they act like these players are starting to be more closer to him, but they're not. Like, it's just like...
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 5 seconds... 5 scenes ago, you hated him, and then 5 scenes later, you're like, yeah, he's my best friend.
I know,
Like,
exactly.
it's like, are we fucking serious?
And then the end, and it all comes to fruition in the end when everything's supposed to like, when it's supposed to be like an arc, you know, it's supposed to climax. The climax just fizzled out, and instead they've got this boring ending. And all they do is turn the music up louder. Yeah. Like, that's supposed to make it feel like a monumental moment. Like, this movie thought...
It was like, you know what it was like? This movie's forced down your throat. It tries to be way more than it actually is, but they try to force feed it down your fucking throat.
Yeah, exactly. They might have had the director... They might as well have had the director standing next to the projector going, this is an emotional scene. This is emotional.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't like it, you're a fucking bastard.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
It's like you go in and you expect something like gritty, like you said. I don't know if it's like gritty, but just something. Something that's just like...
Shocking, maybe.
Something to get you going, to get your heart
pumping. If you actually showed the way it really was back then. It wasn't soft Disney. You know, this shit was fucking bad.
Yeah,
like,
it was ugly and mean and hateful. And there, like I said, Pirate Steve was the only one who brought that out. The rest of the movie, it was just like, oh, it's like the Disney version of racism.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's not. I mean, I wasn't there, but you know, I know history. Like, that's not how it was.
I know.
And they just did a very, very poor job of making this movie. I'm gonna give it a 4.0.
I was actually originally gonna give it a 5.5 to a 6.0, but I gotta give it a 4.5, guys. This movie's just not good. I mean, it's just it's like Mike said, it's watered down, it's uninspired, it's the editing is bad. There's just nothing about it that anchors you to it. So yeah, 4.5, 4.0 is that's the best I can give.
Ultimately, as an audience member going to see this movie, you're just going to be bored. It's just,
I would avoid
go see it.
Yeah, I would too. I'd avoid. Well, actually, you know what? You probably get more of an emotional kick looking up on Wikipedia and actually reading.
And I've been watching baseball movies all week. Like, baseball's just starting, spring's coming around. I'm all into baseball movies right now, and this was just like, even the baseball was just like, eh.
Look it up on the internet. You'll probably get more of an emotional take on it just looking it up.
Yeah, even the baseball was unrealistic. Like, the pitcher would throw the ball, and then Jackie Robinson would swing 3 seconds later. Like, that makes no freaking sense at all. So whatever, guys. That's 2 bad movies in a row for us. So we'll see you with a review of Oblivion. Hopefully that'll be better. What is your favorite baseball movie of all time? What's
Field of
yours?
Dreams is mine. No, actually, I don't know, because I just recently watched it and I fucking loved it. For the Love of the Game was amazing.
For the Love of the Game is the best Kevin Costner baseball movie in my opinion.
But I Field of Dreams is the best shit too.
My favorite baseball movie of all time, though, is Major League, so it's awesome.
Major League?
What do you think about that?
I liked it.
Alright, guys. I'm Mike Heath. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.